So, good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are back again with the podcast, and we're going to keep this kind of short and sweet because obviously Super Sunday's on, and I'm sure the lads want to watch that as well. And big up to everybody in the chat. Make sure you smack the likes up. Before we start on this, RIP to Jimmy Greaves, by the way. I grew up watching Saints and Greavesy, and that was good football talk back then, man. They don't make him like him anymore, that's for sure. But yeah, man, sad news to wake up to today to see that. But Kenny, how you been, mate?
Yeah, like I said, as I said, taking one day at a time, which you do, in certain situations, my situation at the moment. But I just want to second what you said about Jimmy Greaves. Jimmy Greaves, when people watch Soccer Saturday and they call it a legendary show, Soccer Saturday is a rip-off of St. Greavesy. Yeah. I mean, it goes on longer, but can you imagine if Jimmy Greaves and Ian St. John had that platform where they had access to live matches and they did an alternative like to Final Score on the BBC and something alternative to Soccer Saturday, it would get about easily 25 million people, especially those who do go to games, and even before then, half time you have people in stadiums going to watch that. Jimmy Greaves is like an absolute legend on the field. One of the best players. I never got to see him play, but Jez did. Great player, great goal scoring ratio, even at AC Milan. Most importantly, to come back from the depths to the extent he lost everything, to reinvent himself. Didn't have a degree in journalism, self-taught, and he became one of our best broadcasters. Can't say any more.
Yeah, well said, mate. Well said. How are you, Jez?
Yeah, very good, mate. Yeah, I totally endorse what Kenny's just said there. That man was an absolute true legend. I was privileged to see him play. I think I saw him play twice for Tottenham. I saw him play once in 1970 for West Ham. And I think I'm right in saying the following year he retired. So, yeah, I saw him, I think, 3 times. Yeah, absolute class player, man. Absolute class. Such a shame.
It's a shame, man. Very, very sad. Very sad, especially after Ian St. John passed away a few years ago as well, man. It's like now they're both gone. Sad news, man. But listen, let's move on to Arsenal. And very, very quickly as well, nice touch from Arsenal to post a tweet about it as well. Yeah, regardless of whether he played for Spurs or not, is irrelevant, mate. So when it's stuff like this, but yeah, very nice of them to post that tweet, man. And I think the whole football community is a little bit shocked and saddened by that today. But let's move on. We did win yesterday again, another clean sheet, 2 wins in a row. Ramsdale's the best English keeper in the league now, apparently. Tomiyasu is the right back we've always needed. Martin Odegaard is now world class. And we move on to Tottenham next week. Kenny, give me your little breakdown for anyone who didn't see your fan cam, mate, of how you thought the game was yesterday.
Well, the thing about it is there's certain areas that you're very happy with. The defence was enthusiastic. Gabriel had his best game in an Arsenal shirt for me. Clearly loves the battle. Ramsdale exudes confidence to the back four. He's got a good rapport for with his teammates. And he genuinely wants to be our number one. He didn't come here to be, the number 2, and his performance just shouted it. And it's nice to have a keeper that isn't afraid to come across this, isn't afraid to make a mistake. He wants to win so badly, and he seriously has ambitions, to exceed being Arsenal's number 1. It's for England as well. But you have to look at the game properly, and you have to say that there's still genuine concerns about the way we attack, because we had most of the possession. There are instances where we were on the break, but moves kept on breaking down. And I think that Mikel Arteta needs to grow a pair now, really grow a pair, and make some serious decisions, especially in terms of attack. He's got to leave one or not 2 of these players out on form alone. And it's not just form, but, in terms of the balance of his front 3 as well, it is looking clogged up, and it doesn't look like it's a working process. You can't, leave Lacazette on the bench and make Aubameyang your number 1 or main man, yet you don't give him no service. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Aubameyang is just, I don't know whether it's because of form or enthusiasm, but yet little half-yard of pace isn't there at the moment. But when he is making runs, he's not getting a ball. So again, you have to make sure that grow a pair, and also he's going to have to grow a pair when Grant Xhaka is available for selection because of his enforced rest. You know, we are kind of enjoying the fact that there's energy in our midfield and that Thomas Partey is potentially can play his best football. But he's only going to play his best football if he's got adequate partner around him, especially someone with a bit of athleticism. And a lot of Arsenal fans, me included, have identified Lokonga as that partner. So there's still a lot of concerns. Great goal by Martin Odegaard. You know, still finding his feet. But against better opposition, we have to find a way to get Aubameyang scoring goals. And Pepe, you know, getting on the end of things. He clearly is sharp as a razor. He clearly is the player that I think is going to win his matches. But either this manager gets the best out of him or he steps aside and someone else takes over.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said about Xhaka. I think like you've seen in the 2 games that he's not been there, we look so much better in midfield, so much more fluid and quicker. Even though we've not been fantastic in the 2 games, I just feel like there's more energy in that midfield without him. Yeah, and like he is so rigid and he's so one-footed that when you've got somebody in there that can do it with both feet, it shows massively, and it's a big improvement for us. But Jez, what about you, mate? What did you make of it?
Well, it's 3 points, which is always good, obviously. Our goal difference is now down to -7, so that's an improvement. Yeah, I have to say, I'm very impressed by Ramsdale. When he first came in, I was all, do we need this guy? You know, is he? But fair play to the fella. He's making a good impression. I just feel more confident with him. His ball distribution is so much better. He commands the box. I mean, yesterday he was bollocking players in the defence in front of him. And I agree with what you said about the midfield. With Xhaka, we are just so slow. He's always caught on the bloody ball and loses it. Partey, I don't think he's fully fit at the moment, but I think he's going to make a big difference. The biggest problem I see at the moment is our final ball into the front plays. It's either too short, too long, wrong weight. And, you know, that used to be a critical part of the Arsenal game. That final pass would split open the opposition defence. And let's get it right. It wasn't that long ago under Emery, we were still doing that. And that's where you just quite often see the ball to Aubameyang, then he cut inside and cause havoc in the defence. We haven't got that, and that has got to improve. Because let's be honest, Burnley yesterday, they didn't bully us like they did last year. You know, we should have put at least 3 past them yesterday. And I never really saw in the game anything that was giving me confidence that was going to happen. Wonderful goal from Odegaard, absolute class. My jury's still out about him, but can't deny him that. I am seeing glimpses of improvement, but I'm also seeing glimpses of, as I said on the fan cam, of players going backwards. Tierney, to me, yesterday was bloody awful. I don't know what's going on there. I really don't. Whether he's carrying a slight injury, I don't know. But, we won another game. We've now got our noisy neighbours. We've got Wimbledon first. Well, okay, we've got Wimbledon. So, I think we put a second string out there. Possibly Leno in goal for that. That'd be interesting. But, on the whole, things are moving, but too slow. And I still say Arteta will not get us anywhere.
I couldn't agree more, mate. It's all well and good, but getting results against 2 relegation teams or 2 teams that would be battling for relegation. If you actually look at the way we've played in them 2 games, it's not been fantastic, regardless of injuries and COVID and any other excuse you want to throw out there. But unfortunately, football now is very reactionary. So as soon as we get 2 wins, 2 clean sheets, all of a sudden we're the greatest team in the world again. Yeah, and that always tees us up for a massive, massive fall. And we have got Tottenham next, so it wouldn't surprise me if that was the fall. Chig, afternoon, buddy.
Afternoon, mate. You all right? Sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, that's all right, man. I'm good. What did you make of it overall yesterday, Chig?
I kind of thought it was what it was. it was a stumbling, bumbling performance. But you know, it's weird narrative. You know, this is where I think people do play into your argument quite a lot, in the sense that, you know, perspective and the way people dress things up the following day. Like, I was listening to, I know he's your favorite person. What's his name? Charlie Watts. His review of the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, he was talking about how, it was one of his favorite performances of the season because, you know, it showed a grittier Arsenal side, and how, you know, at the time he was frustrated with the attack, but, you know, that it showed how, you know, how battling we were and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, so I watched a different game. I know the first half was a little bit stuttery for me. So I thought maybe he saw something in the first half that I didn't see because of my feed. But the way I saw it, it was, you know, we've not lost to Burnley in how long? Fortunately, it was another terrible record that Arteta didn't conquer, because he likes conquering terrible records. So we didn't lose to them. Great. I thought defensively we were good. We were good thanks to certain individuals. Unfortunately, one of them wasn't our £50 million player.
No.
But I said this on yesterday's show. I've not written him off just yet. I think he'll come good in the end. I just don't think he's had a particularly good start to his Arsenal career. And, you know, I'm not getting carried away either way. You know, I thought Aaron Ramsdale performed well. I thought Gabriel performed well. I thought Partey was all right. You know, and Tommy did well. Other than that, I don't really see what we're getting so worked up and gassed about. Oh, well, you know, it's encouraging signs and it's an improvement and this, that, and the other. Let's have it right. It couldn't have got much worse. After the first 3 games, it could not have got much worse. And in order for us to get an improvement, as people are talking about, we had to play Burnley and Norwich. It couldn't have got much worse. So I think people need to just, you know, relax one way or another. Yes, all right, you can only beat what's in front of you. It's not like we chose to schedule it the way we scheduled it. We scheduled it the way it's been scheduled. Fine. We've beaten Norwich. Great. We've beaten Burnley now. Great. Supposedly we'll go and beat Wimbledon. Maybe. Who knows? Depends on if Lennon fancies it or not. And then you know, come next week, we'll see what sort of Arsenal we get. Other than that, I'm not getting carried away one way or another.
No, mate, I totally agree. I just think, like, you know, if we was to pick 2 teams that you'd want, if there was 5 teams that you said, like, what are the easiest 5 teams in the league, Norwich would definitely 100% be the first one you pick. You'd say Norwich. You'd probably say Newcastle, Burnley. Even though Burnley are quite physical, we do normally tend to do all right against them, apart from last season. But you'd pick them two out of the 5, 100%. So yeah. Let's not get carried away with the.
You probably would have won Burnley away. That's probably the only thing I would have said.
I don't know. Like, I think if you look at our results against Burnley, we haven't lost there since '73. You know, and I know we haven't beaten. Well, that was the first time this manager's beaten them in 4 attempts. Yeah, but we normally do all right there. 98th minute, Panenka from Sanchez, Koscielny in stoppage time against them. We normally beat them at their ground. So I would have picked them in the 5, 100%. And the thing is as well, they haven't won at home since January. Yeah, so like when I see Ben White come out after the game saying, "Oh well, it's a tough place to come," and Well, it ain't, is it? Because they ain't won since January the 27th. That's 9 months. Yeah, so it ain't a tough place to go, is it? Everyone's beaten them. Literally everyone in the league pretty much has beaten them. Yeah, and it's like, I just look in, I think people do get very carried away with it. And it's like, it seems like the first 3 games have just been washed and washed away and put under the carpet or whatever. We've actually scored 2 goals in 5 games. Yeah, that is a massive, massive issue. Yeah, and if you look at the 2 goals we've scored, one was a scrambled over the line goal. Yeah, and the other one was just a bit of brilliance. It's not like we're carving chance after chance after chance and we're getting mad unlucky. Yeah, we're not really creating that many chances, and then we're kind of getting ourselves out of trouble. You can't carry on doing that. Yeah, because eventually that'll come back to 3 games in a row that you lose again. But where do you think, Kenny, the issue is, like, in terms of creativity? Do you think it's the fact that he's picking lopsided teams, or is it just he don't know what he's doing, or is it the players are just not that good?
No, I think that the personnel's there. You know, there are good players, but you know, it's a combination, a couple of players. You know, it has to be said, and I think, you know, people need to grow a pair amongst their fan base, and allow people who have grown a pair to actually say their bit and actually analyse football matches properly. You know, it's all, you know, people lionise the Highlanders, and they should. You know, it's good for every football club, especially, you know, a club like us, to see, you know, young players make good. But they are not playing well. Saka has not played well this season. Smith Rowe has not played well this season. You know, there's a lot of, you know, there's a slight deficiency in his game to the extent that you're playing as a number 10, but he can't play in number 10. So you're playing with number 8. He can't play in number 8. Hence the fact we've got Odegaard. But it just shows you that we really needed someone like Auer, and we really need to consider someone like Maddison as well, because you know, in terms things like that, you've got creative players, you know, who are better than the creative players we have at the moment. Yes, you want them to come on eventually, but you know, time waits for no one, especially in this league. You know, we don't know where we're going to finish. We're clearly not going to finish in the places I want us to finish. So that's another thing. But Saka and Smith Rowe have been awful. You know, they, you know, and the numbers just don't add up in terms of like the way we lionise them. You know, I don't consider assists as something important for an attacking player, because I think if you're an attacking player, goals are more important than assists. And I stand by that, because that's what I've been brought up on. You know, I've been brought up on players like Ray Kennedy, you know, for Liverpool and Arsenal. Brought up on Brian Robson, Frank Lampard. I've seen, you know, grow from West Ham. I've seen David Platt. These are the sort of players attacking midfielders. That's what, you know, score goals. All right. You know, some of them probably not best for ability, but even like Peter Beardsley scored, you know, as a number 10, he scored goals as well, significantly, a lot more than what Mesut Ozil produced and what these guys are producing. So that's another thing. Another conundrum as well is that, you know, if you're going to play Aubameyang as your main man, give him some service. It's no good, you know, give him service. And, you know, if we play Spurs and moving forward, he's got to leave at least one of those players out. Put them on the bench. You know what I mean? You know, people say, oh, but Saka's not playing well because, you know, Pepe, he wants to play on the right side, hand side, but Pepe should play well. Pepe, let's face it, is more naturally gifted than Saka, and he's more effective, and he's getting into those areas where potentially, if we were better coached, he will have a better goal return and assist return than Bukayo. And that's even if Bukayo's on form. And I think that's where we need to improve. These guys need to be on form. The final ball is horrendous still. It's bad. You know, there's a reason why we're not breaking teams down. Yeah, we start really well when we kick off and we look great, but defences are not worried about us. They're not worried. They know Tierney's going to put the crosses in, but he's not doing that enough now. So that side ain't working. And then you've got Tommy Asu. Yeah, playing all right, but does he get down the side and, you know, do a kind of Trent Alexander-Arnold for us? Not really. He's probably less effective than Wan-Bissaka. You know what I mean? So
I mean, let's be honest, Ken. In terms of Pepe, what we're seeing here in that player is a player that's not naturally evolving into the striker that he needs to evolve into.
100%.
That's what he should be doing. That's what he should be. He should be a number 9 right now. He should be evolving into a number 9. But
Like Johnny Barnes, when he's at Liverpool, innit? In his first season at Liverpool, Johnny Barnes scored goals, innit?
If he played, mark my words, if Pepe had played for Liverpool like he probably should have done, right? If we're being honest, right? And moved earlier in the season before when there was rumours that he was supposed to go, and moved earlier, mark my words, he'd be playing up top for Liverpool.
Yeah,
he'd be playing as that number 9 for Liverpool. Because that is what Klopp would have spotted, that involvement in his game. 100%. That's what he clearly wants to do. It's just that unfortunately, for whatever reason, we're over reliant on Aubameyang. We also have a coach that doesn't understand players in an attacking sense. Never mind player involvement.
That's spot on, mate. Absolutely spot on. The thing is, this is a great comment. I want to come to you on this, Jez. Yeah, that was our most creative and offensive side. Everyone said it. Chig, you said it when you jumped on the watch along as well. The chat was lighting up with it. Yeah, very attacking lineup was what everyone was saying. A very attacking lineup. Yeah, we had Saka, Pepe, Aubameyang, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, and we didn't score from open play. Yeah, and that for me is a massive, massive issue. Yeah, we don't score enough goals. And what do you put that down to, Jez? Do you just put that down to the fact that we sit too deep, or what they're doing in training, or they're like I said to Kenny, they're just not good enough? Is it a bit of everything? Is it the manager? Is it the players? Because this can't continue with us averaging less than a goal a game, because we're just going to get relegated, mate. If that carries on and we score 30 odd goals this season, we're finished.
Yeah, I think the players have got the quality. I think the gameplay we have is poor. Training wise, I've no idea, but the final ball is so poor. It's not penetrating into the other team to get us on, through their defence. It's just we hold up the ball in midfield and we look good. We pass it here and there, not always the right way. Quite often sometimes backwards too much, but it's then we try and make that final ball and it all goes wrong. And all the time that continues to happen, you're not going to score goals. As you said, Aubameyang's goal was just a goalmouth scramble. That could have, gone anywhere, let's be fair. Odegaard's free kick, brilliant, absolutely superb. Can't deny the technical ability there at all. But when I was watching that game yesterday, as you guys were, the balls either it was too short, too long, or it was too close to an opposition player where it was cut out. Yeah, we don't have this incisive quality at the moment where we used to have, and I said it earlier, we that ball get into Aubameyang or Lacazette or Pepe, it would be in such a way that it would turn a defender and you're in. When Martinelli was playing, not so much last season, but the season before, he would cut a defence in half. Now, what's happened to Martinelli? Is he injured? I don't know. But I think a lot of it is the biggest problem I see. And I also still don't think Arteta has the nous to get the tactics right. I think the players look confused. Saka, to me, looks tired. I think he needs a rest personally. ESR has just been bloody awful this season. Aubameyang has not kicked on. Everybody was shouting from the rooftops when he scored 3 against West Brom, third team.
Yeah.
Third team, So let's not get carried away here. And as you guys have said, unless something drastically changes, like we've got, Spurs coming up, we're going to get piped. They will destroy us because we just are not clinical enough, I think is the best way of saying it, in the final third. The defence is looking better. I think Ramsdale's helped there. Tomiyasu, definitely for me. Gabriel yesterday, I could have given him man of the match, but Ramsdale got it for me over him. But we have got to be more clinical in that final ball. Otherwise, we aren't going to score goals. Simple as.
Do you know what you just made a point that I want to touch on? You said that Ramsdale for you was man of the match. I don't disagree. Like I personally would have gone Gabriel. Yeah, but either way, we're talking about a goalkeeper and a centre back being our man of the matches at Burnley away. Yeah, I told you all you need to know. Yeah, we should be sitting there going, oh, Aubameyang was man of the match, or Odegaard was man of the match, or this attacker, Saka, Pepe, whoever. We're talking about defensive players being man of the match.
Yeah.
You know, if we go back to the game against Norwich, who was man of the match in that? Like again, we'll probably say Ramsdale or Tomiyasu or Lokonga. Yeah, defensive-minded players. It's not like our attackers are actually doing anything, and this is the difference between us and that lot down the road. Yeah, even though they were crap against Palace the other day, and they really were really, really bad. The difference is if Harry Kane gets a chance, it's in the back of the net. Yeah. If we get a chance, it ain't. Yeah, and that. Yeah, we need to fix up in the next 6, 7, 8 days until that game. 7 days till that game. Otherwise, we are in trouble in that game. And if we lose to that lot at home, with fans in the crowd, that's going to get a bit naughty. But there we go. Chig, I want to ask you about Ben White. We've spent a lot of money on this fella. And yesterday, one long ball over the top from Nick Pope. He's jumped for it, mistimed it. It was literally just straight down the middle of the pitch. Yeah. He's mistimed it, and Ashley Barnes takes it down and pings it over the bar. On another day, that's in the back of the net. We then see him do a pass back to the goalkeeper, and Vidra went in, and there was the penalty decision that was obviously overturned. What have you made of him in the games that he's played? Did you get the hype around him, or do you just think, like a couple of people in the chat said, oh, you got to give him time, he's still settling in? What do you make of him?
Like I said earlier, I think for me, he's obviously not had a great start to his Arsenal career. I think you're judging any defensive person that came in with any sort of hype. You're judging them harshly if after 3 games under Mikel Arteta. You know, I think if this was under Conte, you could be like, all right, then maybe it's not as good as like what I thought it was. But under probably clearer instructions from Graham Potter, and then coming all the way over to Mikel Arteta, who acts like he has Tourette's most of the time. You know, you genuinely you don't know. It's probably confused the guy. So to me, I'm not as concerned as everyone else is over Ben White. Other than I get it, his price tag. You know, if we were talking about someone who was a £20 million player, for example, when there were doubts over Gabriel, there wasn't half as much hype. But because this guy is a £50 million player, he's English, you know, there is a certain expectation that he's obviously not reaching, even after 3 games. What Mikel Arteta should do is manage that situation quickly. See, if it was me personally, I would have probably played him against Wimbledon and taken him out of the Spurs limelight. That's personally what I would do. You know, Wimbledon is the sort of match where you can get him to build his confidence up. You might say to yourself, wouldn't that knock it? But this is where the man management aspect needs to come into play. You sit the kid down and you say to yourself, listen, brother, you ain't had the greatest start, have you? Like make a joke out of it, you know, show him some videos. It is what it is. Just sit him down and just say to himself, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to build a nice program for you. 10-game program. You're going to play against Wimbledon. You know, you're going to give him some encouragement. You're not going to say he's captain or anything against Wimbledon, but you're going to be one of the leaders against Wimbledon and want the real best creme de la creme performance out of you, right? And then what you say is, in the meantime, you choose between Mari and Holding, which I know is like choosing between a flu and COVID, but all right, whatever. Right? But you replace him in the squad in the meantime, and then what you say is that's for a limited time. We're of course going to bring you back. We have to. You're a long-term investment for us. You know, you manage that situation, and then you bring him back when the hype isn't so, when people are not so angry and not so pissed. And what you're hoping is, in the meantime, the rest of the team has shown enough of a performance elsewhere, whereby you can then just bring him back quietly, bring him back in a nothing game, like I don't know, like a Watford game or something like that, where you can just slip him back into the squad quietly. That's what I would expect. What I expect from Mikel Arteta, though, is the typical Wenger way of handling the situation, which would be playing regardless.
Are you not worried about the fact that he genuinely is being targeted, like for aerial duels, because it's common knowledge that he can't win a header. Yeah, so now players are going into games going, right, well, we ain't got a chance against Gabriel because he'll win everything. Yeah. So what we do is we go up against Ben White. We'll isolate Ben White. Yeah, hopefully Tommy Asher will be caught up the pitch, and then we can get in at Ben White, get our fullback or our winger down that side to link up with the striker, and then boom, they're in. Yeah, because that's what I'd be doing if I was an opposition manager. I'd be targeting him all day long.
But here's the thing: they clearly have seen something in him where they could not give a shit that he doesn't have that attribute. So if that's the case, what's your plan then? See, my plan would be, if I bought Ben White knowing that he does not have that attribute, it must mean because I think I have enough of that in my team. Therefore, what my plan would be when I'm taking him out of the limelight is I'm getting him to practice with people who can header the ball, who can attack the ball, so that he knows where to position himself where someone is attacking the ball. Like this is where I think ultimately Gabriel will prove to be the perfect partner for him, because Gabriel attacks the ball, and for Ben White, all he needs to do is just figure out where to stand. Anticipation is what a defender should be doing. That to me is creme de la creme, part and parcel of what a central defender should be. In fact, a defender of any type should be able to do. So that, to me, if you can do that part, the follow-up part, who the fuck that you can't header the ball? There'll be some great defenders that can't header the ball. Mertesacker couldn't header the ball. He couldn't.
No, that's true. But Mertesacker's positioning and reading of the game was fucking elite.
Exactly.
Like, literally elite.
You can learn that stuff. He's 23 years old. You can learn that stuff.
Yeah, but the problem is, Chick, we ain't got time for people to be learning.
I disagree.
Especially when we've got a manager that's learning. We've got Saka that's learning. We've got Smith Rowe learning, Martinelli learning, Ben White learning, Tommy Asher.
That's why you have a squad.
Yeah, but the squad is full of people that are learning. That's my point.
But Lee, we've bought him. See, in an ideal situation, you'd buy the finished product. But they've decided not to do that. So if you've decided not to do that, that must mean you feel like you can teach this kid and you can learn this kid over the next few weeks. Therefore, we have no choice. We have to make time for him.
Yeah, but no, I understand that. I totally understand. I agree as well. Yeah, but at the same time, like, do you think he's any better off of performances you've seen than Rob Holding?
Yes.
Just based off of performances you've seen. Yeah, and if so, in which way?
I don't think he is better. I think he will be better. If you judging it on, if you're asking me honestly on the qualities I see, knowing that Chid knows defenders, brother. Chid knows defenders, right? So you're asking me honestly on the qualities I see, who do I think will be a better defender in the end? Holding or White? It will 100% be White. 100% be White.
I'm still jury out on him. What do you make of him, Kenny?
You just like saying Ben shite. That's all it is.
Yeah, I did tell everyone he'd be shite.
you know, when I see Ben White, and I did watch him at Brighton, and I saw a bit of him at Leeds. I get why the club bought him because, you know, and I get why Southgate is picking him in his teams because you're looking further down the line. What you want, what we seem to want to produce is for the defenders in this country. You know, gone are the days where you have, you know, like someone as an attacker, you know, a Steve Bruce, you know, Tony Adams, you know, Martin Keown, who just basically all elbows, all bony, and basically heads you in the back at Tommy Smith. We're now wanting to produce people good on the ball.
The difference between a dunk and a Ben White.
Listen, we want players who are good on the ball, and I think that translates. Like David O'Leary, you know, he was excellent on the ball. Mark Lauritsen, great on the ball, and this is how we're going to kind of move forward. And I think a reason why I think Ben White is going to play, because I think the plan is, you know, we know that he's not going to be winning many headers, but you know, we're going to see him. All right, it's a big ask, but you know, see him like a Cannavaro. You know, Cannavaro played games, but it's what you have in front of Ben White. You have to have a screen and genuine protection. And that's why, in that respect, if you are going to play Ben White, and you're going to say, right, we want Partey to be that screen in front of him, we're going to need athleticism alongside him. So when Partey moves up, we want someone in there who could give him that protection. So it's all about protection. And then what will happen is that when crosses do come in, we want, you know, like obviously we've got the height of Tommy Asu, but we want Gabriel to go, boom, you're the ugly duckling in there. I want you to head the ball out, and I want you to rough the defender up, and I want you, Ben, when we're trying to build attacks, I need you to distribute the ball, either long pass to start an attack for a bang or across the sides for the.
That's all well and good, Kenny.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, mate. That's excuse me. That's all well and good. But when Tommy Asu gets injured, which he will, when Gabriel gets injured, which he will, then what do we do? Because we haven't got that profile of player in backup, in reserve.
Well, I think what's that?
Or Ben White. And then if they're both injured, and we go with Pablo Marie and Ben White, and then we've got Maitland-Niles there, for example, then we're fucked.
Well, I think what's happening is that, like, if you're talking about injuries and everything, obviously that, or in that right back or full back position. But if everyone knows that if Gabriel ever gets injured, then you know he's going to fall back on Rob Holding to actually do that sort of job where he's going to be attacking the ball. And I think that shouts and why Rob Holding is retaining the squad. Now I don't rate Rob Holding any more than anyone on his panel. In fact, I don't rate him at all. I think he's a nice lad. You know, he's worked his nuts off, you know, to make a career himself at Arsenal from Bolton. You know, great Manchester and everything. But in terms of the quality we need, you know, that's the conundrum we have. We have a lot of defenders, but you know, if you name the team sheet, it's very easy to name the team sheet because Murray has been a disappointment. You know, I think a lot of the players who failed Arteta in the first 3 games are now being punished because they're not featuring there because he's thinking, you know what, I can't afford you guys, right? You're going to get me the sack and you're going to get people like Lee Gunn and everyone else calling for my head. You guys are a liability now. And you've noticed the team selection is a bit different. And I think that's what we are going to get. We're going to need, moving down the line, you know, defenders who are good enough to get in a team and push each other because at the moment we're not going to get that. And I think if we don't get that, we're not going to get enough protection of Ben White. But if you think Ben White is going to be like heading the ball out and being your stopper, then he's not going to do that. It's not going to happen. Teams will target him because, you know, that's what teams do. They're going to try and work out a weakness. But again, it's about defensive responsibility from, you know, the fullbacks and, you know, players who are tall enough and physical enough to, you know, at set pieces to, you know, relieve him of those sort of duties. But, you know, again, you are right, though, Lee, that, you know, he has to learn the basics. All right, it's not what his job is entailed, but you're right. You still have to be able to head the ball. You still have to be able to do those genuine defensive things because that's what they asked Rio Ferdinand to do. Rio Ferdinand is a player, I left out, who's great on the ball, but David O'Leary, when he was at Leeds, knocked that out of him. And Sven-Göran Eriksson blatantly told Rio Ferdinand, and Rio Ferdinand, this is documented because Rio Ferdinand recites this regularly. If you play as you do against Man United, you try to play a ball out the back, you're not playing. I'm going to play Sol Campbell, or Ledger King. So that is where Ben White has to be, adaptable as well. Because that other managers won't allow Ben White to play like that.
And that's the thing, Kenny. Right? He's gone and played under Bielsa. He's played under Potter, right? And both of them teams play an attacking style of play. Yeah, they try and get on the front foot. They try and press you, and they try and catch you high up the pitch. Yeah, and both of them at times play with a 3 at the back. I know Leeds less so, but Brighton always go with a 3. I've always said with a 3 at the back, for me that means you don't trust any of your centre backs. Yeah, because you're making that. But on the flip side of that, Tuchel plays a 3 at the back. And the reason he plays a 3 at the back is not because he doesn't trust his centre-backs, it's because he wants to be sat on the edge of their box. Yeah, so he'll go with an extra centre-back to cover a counter-attack. Yeah, and it works perfectly. Whereas when I'd watch other teams with a 3 at the back, Wolves did it when Doherty was there. He was the flying wing-back. Yeah, it was because none of your centre-backs are any good. And I feel like Ben White...
Don't you think it's the other way around? It's like, with England... especially under Glenn Hoddle in 1998, and to a certain extent, we didn't kind of play 3 at the back, but like a Christmas tree, normally you clog up areas for protection because your midfield isn't is good enough in terms of like trying to control the tempo of the game. So you make sure you're clogged up and protected, and I think that's a third reason why teams do tend to play with a back 3 and wing backs.
So it can have its upsides, but I just think like when you watch Ben White, and I'll come to you, Jez, and get your thoughts on him as well. When I've watched him at Brighton, I was never sitting there going, "Wow," yeah, I wasn't thinking, "Wow, you're amazing," And for me, I'm a bit old-fashioned with it. I want my defenders to defend, yeah, and then if you can pass the ball and you can spring a pass like Van Dijk, yeah, then fantastic, great. That's a bonus, but. I think this manager, like you guys have all said, he wants the rock in Gabriel. He wants the finesse with White, and then he wants a bit of physicality at right back to cover Ben White. But when you've got 2 players that need to cover a centre back that can't win a fucking header, but you've got him in the team just because he can pass, for me, I think that's a flawed system in the first place. Yeah, what do you think, Jez? What do you think of Ben White?
Yeah, his lack of heading ability, maybe he's frightened of getting dementia, but now on a serious note, to my book, an old school person, really. To me, if a defender can't head the ball, that's a major issue. I don't really ever remember any past. Let's go back into 90s coming through to the thousands, where Arsenal had any defenders that didn't head the ball in our good days. I'm talking about. He's a great passer of the ball, Ben White, and I was led to believe this by a few guys that I know that go and watch Brighton regularly, but they themselves said for 50 million, their opinion was he's not worth, in their book, he's not worth 50 million. And
that's Brighton fans.
Yeah.
Wow.
These are season ticket holder guys. They go down to the Amex. So that's a concern to me. Unless we've got some masterful defensive coach that can actually get him to head the ball, I think it's always going to be a weak point. And I totally agree with you guys. What you said is that he will be targeted for that weakness. Okay, you can pass, you can string a 70-yard diagonal ball and land it on the foot of Pepe or whoever. That is great, but that's not great defending. To be honest, we need midfielders that can do that. And it's a great attribute as a defender. But if you've got a defender there, 6'2", and he's going to get out-headed by a 5'10" striker, that's a problem.
100%. And this is a good comment here. Brighton have looked defensively solid this season, and that says it all. And they have. Whenever I've watched them, they've looked pretty decent. It's not like they're missing Ben White. And listen, I hope he does come good. because if he does, then we'll be better, surely. But at the same time, a lot of money has been spent on this guy. And there was a great comment a minute ago that said, for 50 million quid, I'd want him to be the best at everything. Yeah, and that's it. That's how I look at it. The sad part about it is he was never worth 50 million quid. Yeah, and like you said, your mates that go and watch Brighton, not 50 mil, mate. I would have said maybe 30. Yeah, about 30, 33, 35. Never in a million years is he a 50 million pound footballer. Yeah, and I'm just concerned that when we go into that North London derby, if we start with him, Harry Kane's going to have a field day. Yeah, because he won't go up against Gabriel because he knows Gabriel will have it back. Yeah, he's going to target Ben White and they're going to try and whip them balls in on Ben White's side. He'll put off the back of the shoulder, on White, and he'll be winning them headers in the box. If he goes against Gabriel, it's 50-50, isn't it? Yeah, whereas if he goes against Ben White, he's nailed on, he's winning every header. Yeah, and I just think he looks, he don't look like he's like, Gabriel's got the size, obviously, yeah, but Gabriel puts himself about as well. I don't see that with Ben White. Like, I don't see him roaring into challenges and stuff like that. And I know they're totally different types of defenders, but at the end of the day, they're both fucking centre backs. Yeah. You've got to have a bit of steel in your game and say, no, we ain't getting roughed up today. And I just don't see that with him. He reminds me very much of Rob Holding. Yeah. And Rob Holding ain't good enough. Yeah. So for me, I hope he does get better, but I just don't think he will. Yeah. I genuinely don't. And, if we don't have him in the team, we've got Rob Holding. If we ain't got them two in the team, we've got Pablo Marie. All three of them are weak. Yeah, none of them have got anything about them for me. But listen, we'll see what happens. Lads, I know the football's about to kick off in a minute. The 2 o'clock kick-off. I don't know who's playing. Who's playing at 2? Is it Chelsea or is that?
Oh, you know who's playing, mate. You know it's West Ham, mate. I mean, the way Sky are going on about it, you would have thought the best player in the world, the best player in the world wasn't playing today. You'd have thought, oh, Chelsea and Spurs. Obviously, because of what's happened with, I call him Sir Jimmy Greaves. I call him Sir. If anyone else won't, I can understand that. And obviously, because they're promoting that carbon, carbon-free or green football match where everyone, instead of having fish and chips around tofu and rice potato, oh God, just have some proper food, will you?
Do you know what I mean? It's all about. Yeah, Kenny, I genuinely didn't know. I just Googled it now. I didn't know. You
just found out just now, haven't you?
Yeah, West Ham, Man United. I didn't know that. And then obviously Tottenham's on at 4:30 against Chelsea. I knew that was on today. I just didn't know what time. We don't have Sky in Spain, Kenny. They don't have Sky Sports out here. Yeah,
what do you have in Spain? What do you have in Spain?
The Zone.
Oh, do you have that geezer in Spain who whenever something happens?
Oh yeah, TikTok.
Is that it? You're the one who wanted Hazard to be dropped by Real Madrid, and he had this dramatic poise. Oh, you have that program then? All right, fair enough.
Yeah, the old boy.
The bars. Don't they have do they have these Sky Sports in bars in Spain?
Yeah. But the thing is, they're on these boxes. Yeah, like you can get so like a guy will come round, a satellite guy will come round, he'll plug it all in, he'll put you a dish up and all that. Yeah, but it's basically like streaming it. Yeah, it runs off your internet and it's like streaming it. So it's not Sky Sports Spain because there is no Sky Sports Spain. Right. Sky Italy, Sky Germany, Sky England, etc. But there's no Sky Spain. So over here, it's pretty much just DAZN. That's it. So if you want to watch the games here, unless you've got DAZN, you ain't watching them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they'll have every Premier League game. Yeah, but you ain't watching them unless you've got DAZN, unless you have Sky Sports UK or Sky or beIN Sports and you're streaming it off your box. Yeah, which is what they do in all the bars. Yeah, they just have a box installed and stream it, but they're all about a minute and a half behind.
I watched that Sport Tech yesterday, which is okay. The last 5 minutes it kept looping, and get it.
Oh, what the commentary kept looping?
Well, no, the actual picture.
Oh, okay.
It was a 1 minute of football that kept going round, and
that's the problem, man. Yeah, and do you know what? For me, they've missed a trick, Sky and BT, because they could dress up a package for each team for 3 o'clock kickoffs. Yeah, and just say, look, every 3 o'clock kickoff, you can watch them. It's £5. Yeah, everyone's going to pay it. Yeah, so people will still go to games, and that's apparently the reason they don't do them. Is because
I think what's happened is that they'll lose a lot of money. They'll lose a lot of money, the Premier League, because they're selling. The reason why these foreign people from the USA and all corners of the world, you know, including Australia, buy English football because they want exclusive access to the 3 o'clocks.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, man. But
The annoying thing is though, because I obviously you and Chiggy on, and I think you were a minute or so behind, but I was 5 minutes behind you.
Do you know the only reason I was so far behind? There's a setting on this YouTube, that I can press, so I can, when I speak, my end, it's on a delay, and I can decide what the delay is. Yeah, and I pressed the wrong button. That's why I was so far behind.
I watched mine in Arabic. First I had Lee Dixon on, you know, NBC, and then when that cut out, I got one 2 seconds later in Arabic, so I'll stay with that one.
Yeah, to be fair, the Arabic commentary is the best by a mile. By the way, yeah, you should turn the volume up and listen to it, Kenny. Yeah, I did on Being Sport, not Being Sport, sorry, DAZN. Yeah, I listened to the commentary in Spanish. Yeah, it's fucking brilliant. Go, 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 lads! They go fucking mad when a goal goes in. The other day,
you know, Beanie, we won't be able to get in this country. We're not in the location, in it. We won't be able to get it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can find somewhere.
Well, off camera. Let me know. Let me know.
Yeah, you can get a VPN and all that, and just change locations.
I don't know. Do VPN have hackers?
I have no idea, mate.
Fair enough, then.
We're out of it. Listen, thanks for watching, everyone. I know that the notifications weren't sent out, so make sure you do slap a like on this. They only send 3 notifications in 24 hours. Obviously, this is about the 8th video in 24 hours. So make sure you smack the likes up. Big up to Kenny, Jez, and Chig. Make sure you subscribe to Chig's channel, Guna Eagle Eye, in the description, and make sure you follow Kenny and Jez on socials as well.
Massive. Hey, I'm just going to stop. It's a massive week next week. It's not just a North London derby, but it's a massive week for heavyweight boxing. Anthony Joshua versus, like I said, Alexander Usyk, and I've been getting a ticket, and I just want people to prescribe any kind of like wet wipes and disinfectant because I'll be in a Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Oh, Kenny.
So any form of like cleaning products and everything, just help me out and put it in the description if you can.
Quality. On that bombshell, all enjoy the footy. We're out.
We're out.
I'll tear her out.